I wanted y'all to see the family's new side by side. Got just a really cool story about this thing, how I came about getting it. This is these things. Let me start off by saying that these things, you can get these things and they cost like up to $40,000. I mean, they are crazy. Of course, the 40,000 one doesn't look anything like this. But yeah, I've been wanting one of these for a really long time. I didn't think I would ever get one, but we just wanted one, and to use here on our 10 acres here in Bologna. I'm gonna crank it up for you here. Cranks right up. The motor's right there underneath that thing. The motor's right there underneath that center console. It has a dump bed that lets down. But it's pretty crazy the way that I ended up with this thing. I thought I would never have anything like that, but I was on Facebook Marketplace, and you see what it looks like. It looks really nice. Came up for $3,500. I'm like, wow, that would be really cool to have, and that is in my price range more than anything else would be, even though we don't have anything in our price range because we're just it's hard on a family of 9 people nowadays. But anyway, I messaged the woman about it. They live about 30 miles away, 45, something like that. She said somebody's already coming to look at it. Sorry. And this one it's not a popular brand. It's not a Honda or a Polaris or a Kawasaki, anything like that. So it's a little bit of a cheaper brand side by side. And then she messaged me and said, hey, we decided that we're not going to sell it or whatever. And I said, okay, well, if you change your mind, just let me know. You know, I got this family here. We've always wanted one. And then she said, I want to be honest with you. And she told me some of the things that was wrong with it and why the other guy didn't buy it. And then that's why they decided, we're just going to hold off on selling it. She said, but if you want to come look at it, you can. So I said, okay. So I went right up there as quick as I could the next day because I knew that it was a good deal. And if I didn't get something like that, and it's a 2018, 550 miles on it, I knew if I didn't get something like that I probably wouldn't get anything at all. So that's why I went up there, and they just had a little small piece of land. They said, we're getting rid of it because we're moving, and we can't take it with us. We're going to live in the city. So I was like, all right, well, that's a pretty good reason. I got in it, and she showed me some things about it. And I just sort of drove it around their little bitty yard. And it didn't really run very good, but it seemed like it ran. And for the amount of money, so I parked it and I said, hey, I don't want to lowball you on this thing. I said, but would you take $3,000? And she said, yes, we will. I went to the bank. I got the money. I came back and I paid her. And then later that night, my wife borrowed a trailer and she went and got it, brought it home, and she said, all right, let's take it for a ride. And I got in it, and the kids were in it, the babies were in it, and we were going down the road, and it was not running good at all. It wouldn't hardly go up a hill, and we got on down the road, and it died, and I had to crank it up, and it went a little bit further, and then it just bogged down, and it would barely even run. And I thought to myself, oh, Lord, we have just wasted $3,000 because there's something wrong with this. Finally, it died and it wouldn't go anymore. And I had to call my son to come and get us. And he pulled me home on it. Wasn't very far away. I didn't get very far down the road. So here I am thinking this is just terrible. I can't believe that I have been such a terrible steward with the money and didn't know what I was going to do. So I just started researching what could be wrong with it. And I knew that it only had 550 miles. Didn't look like it ever had the air filter, oil filter change. I said, I can do the spark plug. I can just change all these things and see what happens. And I got to researching, and it said that it is fuel injected, and sometimes the fuel injector gets stopped up. So I said, maybe that's what it is. Changed the oil, the spark plug. I put a inline fuel filter in it because it didn't have one of those, and I ordered a fuel injector, but I went ahead and took the fuel injector out, and you can't really clean those, I don't think. I think you just got to buy new ones. And after I done all of those things, I put Seafoam gas treatment in it. And after I done all those things, I put the instead of waiting for the new fuel injector, I just went ahead and put the old one in there and put everything back together. And it started up and it ran. And it runs good. It's not perfect. I paid $3,000 for it compared to a new one that's a base model that would cost like $12,000 or $13,000, save $10,000. But listen to this: if I would have went over there and it would have cut out and died on me like that in the woman's yard, I would have walked away. I wouldn't have bought it, and I still wouldn't have a side by side. But I did. I got it home, and now it's repaired and it runs good, and we've got a side by side that I feel like God blessed us with, because we're not in the market to buy something like that, but we got it. So I want to thank God for the little things and that he blesses us with, and the way that worked out, because like I said, I would have never bought it if it would have died on me in that woman's yard. If she would have been on a huge farm and had a huge dirt road and I would have took it down there, it would have died, I would have said, okay, this is a no-go. The seat belt buzzer was going off because there was a malfunction in it, and I just popped those wires out and it quit. The emergency brake don't work on it, but when you park it in gear, then you don't really need an emergency brake. And we've got one. I mean, you should have seen my 4-year-old, her face light up, and how much fun that she has when I take her on a ride in that. The other day, I put the car seats, strapped them in, seat belted them in, and I took the twins. And man, they're just laid back looking around. They didn't make a peep. My wife enjoys it. And it's just something that we can have to enjoy as a family on this place that God blessed us with. So I wanted to share that with you. If you've got something that you want and something that you need, God might work in a special way to give that to you. I love y'all and appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. God bless.